KSI has a lot of people listening to him that only sort of like don't have a lot of crypto experience, right?
All right, so obviously this video title, it's got a bit of a negative connotation, right? And which isn't fair to KSI. I'm actually biased and I'm a KSI fan, and I think that's where it comes down to. I think this was more of a mistake than a malicious scam because I'm biased and lean towards liking KSI more. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people who dislike KSI, have that bias, and they're going to use that as an example to not agree with him and think that this was done maliciously. I think those are the two camps. It's not really a black and white situation. I think it is more gray, but the two camps, if you want to look at it that way, is do you like KSI? You probably think he's innocent. You don't like him, you probably think he's guilty. But the big thing is, first of all, being on CoffeeZilla's radar, terrifying. I would hate to be on his radar. I think he did a great job of laying out how it could be a mistake and how it could be genuinely done in a negative way, like in a purposeful way to scam people.
What are you going to do for yourself except create problems when you counter trade your tweet, and people are going to interpret that as malicious? Some people are going to interpret it as not, but ultimately I think that is a call each individual has to make, as I said in my video, and that's not something you want up for debate. You don't want to have people like speculating, like, what did it mean when he sold 6 hours after saying he was bullish? Did he mean it as a joke?
When it comes to KSI and you rank this crypto scam on the grand scale of scams, I would say it ranks pretty low. It's no Save the Kids, right? It's not something super serious, but at the same time, any sort of scam, anytime a creator uses their platform to take advantage of people, it still should be taken seriously. I'm coming from the camp of, I don't think it was done maliciously. I still think it was wrong what he did, but it shouldn't be a reason to be like, now I'm not a KSI fan. If you already don't like him, sure, add that to your arsenal of not liking him. If you are a fan of his, I don't think this should be like a reason to be like, now I know he's a monster. There's a lot of people who have used crypto in a sketch way, and maybe he was just following a trend of like, oh, plenty of people do this, maybe it's not that bad. Now we all realize, hey, scamming's bad, which is a little ridiculous to say. Everyone should know, don't scam people. But I think it's kind of one of those things where if he does it again, then it's like, okay, hold on. You just had Coffee tell you all this stuff about how messed up it is, and you seem pretty receptive, more or less, to it. If you're doing it again, then yes, you are doing it maliciously. I see this more as a, it was a goof. It was a goof, you know, let's not do it again. Am I going too easy on him? Maybe, but it's one of those things where if you like the content creator, you're going to give him more passes. Now, I personally think if like Logan Paul did this, it'd be a very clear example of another thing in the arsenal. I also think Prime is a way bigger thing you should be looking into than these crypto scams. I think that's something where it's like, something's not adding up there, but I digress. I think if this is the thing that you're using to be like, here's my proof that KSI is awful, you're barking up the wrong tree. You know, it's something where there's worse things to look at and investigate. Maybe there will be more crypto situations that were like, oh, he's done even more pump and dumps. And it's like, okay, clear sign. But you know, if and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And right now we're just looking at the facts that we've got. And I personally think it's one of those things where we should see it, keep an eye of it, forgive and not forget. You know, if he does it again, banished to the shadow realm. Just kidding. Content creators can do whatever they want, and even if they get in trouble, they'll still make millions. Okay, goodbye.
Did he mean it? You know, even the guy, actually speaking of that, like one of the explanations for the this coin here, KSI made another shit post about a shit coin because he thought it would be jokes. Again, that's one interpretation of that post. The other interpretation, I'm sure made by other people, was like, oh, it's a coin. This guy's telling me about a crypto coin. So ultimately, that's the